Hello and welcome. This video explores body temperature and its effects on structured water in the body. Have you ever wondered why our body maintains such a narrow temperature range? Why fever changes our dreams? And why trauma sometimes gets stuck in our tissues? Let's explore this together. At 36.5 degrees, the body stands at the threshold between stability and transformation, allowing the anchoring of intention, thought, and spiritual presence. According to Pollack's research, the optimal temperature for water structuring lies between 20 to 37 degrees, enabling charge separation for signal transduction and coherence. Excessively high temperatures, such as fever, disrupt the structure, while excessively low temperatures, such as in low thyroid function, slow down water structuring and mental processes as well. We can see that patients without low thyroid function often gets myxedema, which is essentially bulk water retention in the body. These patients usually get better on herbs which stimulate mitochondria and rebuild the structured water lattice. These theoretical and clinical observations suggest that 36.5 degrees is an optimal point for biological functions maintaining a balance. Not too low for rapid processes and not too high to destabilize the underlying lattice either. This optimal body temperature may allow quantum level processes to occur within the structured water lattice. At this temperature, mitochondria can effectively harvest energy and maintain coherence. Information exchange can occur across structured water layers on lipid membranes. Interestingly, patients with low thyroid function often have low body temperatures as well, correlating with slowed mental processes. At the other end, fever and sepsis often lead to delirium, suggesting the body-soul interface destabilization, limiting the soul's stable expression throughout the body. So, what could be the biological function of these processes? Excessively high body temperatures are not necessarily harmful, they often serve a purpose. Western medicine states that fever destroys pathogens, but what about childhood fevers without identifiable infections? Heat stroke or hyperthyroidism, which is excessively high thyroid function, all of which involve altered mental states without infection. And of course, mania should also be mentioned here. Mania can involve high skin temperatures with altered mental states. If mental functions and memory storage are linked to quantum processes within structured water layers, fever may represent an emotional coping mechanism. This is supported by everyday observations. Children often develop fever after emotional trauma or mistreatment at school. Trauma does not only reside in the mind. It creates charge stagnation in the tissues, blocking structured water and field resonance. According to Pollack, negative nucleating surfaces, e.g. lipid membranes and DNA phosphate groups, act as cosmotropes, structuring water effectively. Conversely, free positive charges and positive nucleating surfaces such as guanidinium, ammonium ions, urea, creatinine, and of course alcohol as well, can destabilize structured water. Trauma, as a structured water destabilizer, may function similarly, carrying a positive charge in this context. Thus, fever may help erase trauma by allowing the rebuilding of structured water layers. However, this process may be delayed by structures that glue trauma in place. In Chinese medicine, these are referred to as dampness, dysfunctional metabolites and proteins formed in low energy environments, requiring digestion through fever before new structured water layers can build. This concept extends to oncology. Tumors often store what we cannot process over time, serving as a message, not merely a mistake. If we accept that a tumor represents locked away emotional trauma, we can better understand tumor biology. Otto Warburg observed that tumors consume more glucose than surrounding tissues. This is called Warburg shift, indicating mitochondrial shutdown with energy production relying on glycolysis. While inefficient, this high-speed process may produce pleiotropes that disrupt structured water and degrade waste metabolites holding trauma memories. The question arises: can we support this coping process? We might imitate the fermentation process occurring within tumors, not necessarily to kill the tumor, but to support the coping mechanism. It is digestion. Fermented foods act as teachers for the body, demonstrating how to convert chaos into order. Sauerkraut, kombucha, yogurt, and kefir support immune function and are said to modulate the gut microbiome, symbolically assisting in the digestion of emotional trauma. What holds trauma and tumors in place? If tumors are emotional trauma locked away as resonance patterns within structured water layers, then these patterns must be digested to prevent recurrence. Modern psychology acknowledges that emotional coping can aid cancer recovery. But how does this work mechanistically? One hypothesis: the endoplasmic reticulum may store memory patterns at the cellular level. The ER, or endoplasmic reticulum for short, essentially a calcium-filled sac surrounded by microtubules. It receives resonance patterns initiated by microtubules, which are theorized to couple within the source intention. These patterns generate these tiny electromagnetic fields. Calcium, which is paramagnetic at rest and diamagnetic when excited, may hold magnetic patterns from this microtubular network. Under normal conditions, this system acts as a cellular signal amplifier, transmitting electromagnetic information globally via the membrane and fascia systems. In cancer, membrane permeability decreases to prevent leakage of traumatic signals and chaotropic agents, while also blocking nutrient and immune cell access. As mitochondria starve, glycolysis and sterile inflammation emerge as alternative energy sources to digest waste and trauma. However, waste persists until the emotional pattern is resolved. Evidence suggests that protein post-translational modification within the endoplasmic reticulum is influenced by holographic memory information. Understanding this requires viewing the endoplasmic reticulum through integrative medicine. Integrative medicine seeks to understand Chinese medicine through modern scientific lenses. Classical texts place Han, or the ethereal soul, in the liver, associating it with memory, creativity, and fantasy. Operating on holographic resonance principles, the liver may correspond on a cellular level to the ER or endoplasmic reticulum, as both synthesize proteins and biological substances. It is possible that holographic protein modifications in the ER are disrupted by traumatic energy patterns. Thus, healing is not merely chemical. It is structural, energetic, and informational. So what can integrative medicine add to everyday clinical practice? Rather than immediately attempting to destroy fever or tumors, we might first seek to understand them. For fever, viewed as a short-term emotional coping mechanism, integrative medicine may support the process. For example, using gypsum, which is a sulfate source, to protect structured water layers and maintain coherence. In cancer, where emotional coping has failed long-term, addressing and resolving the underlying emotional trauma, opening the tumor with pungent herbs, and reactivating mitochondrial function may support recovery alongside conventional treatments. By now, we hope that we have demonstrated that fever and tumors share a common emotional foundation, which must be addressed for effective recovery and prevention of recurrence. If you found this exploration valuable, feel free to get in touch or join our Telegram channel for ongoing discussions.